In the mists of antiquity, when the land was a patchwork of warring tribes and petty kings, a single star shone brighter than the rest. This is the saga of the House of Eredor, a dynasty forged in fire and destined for greatness. Our story begins not in a grand palace, but in the windswept hills of the northern frontier, where a chieftain named Valeras Eredor first dreamed of a united realm. He saw a future free from endless conflict, a land where people could build and prosper under a single, just banner. Valeras was more than a warrior, he was a visionary. With a silver tongue and a will of iron, he began the arduous task of unification. He didn't just conquer, he persuaded. He offered protection to the weak, forged alliances with the strong, and shared his vision of a peaceful kingdom. Clan by clan, the old rivalries began to crumble. The symbol of the Eredor, a soaring eagle against a silver mountain, became a beacon of hope. After decades of struggle, Valeras' son, Orion I, was crowned High King, ruler of the newly forged kingdom of Eldoria. The Age of Eredor had begun. The early years were a testament to their strength. The Eredors built roads that stitched the kingdom together, established fair laws, and fostered trade that brought unprecedented wealth. Cities grew from humble settlements, and knowledge flourished in newly founded libraries. The people looked upon their rulers not with fear, but with respect. The Eredor kings and queens were known for their wisdom, often walking among their subjects to understand their needs. It seemed as if their reign was blessed by destiny itself, a golden age destined to last forever. But no dynasty is without its trials, and the greatest threat to the House of Eredor came not from a foreign invader, but from within. Lord Malicor, a trusted cousin to the throne and a brilliant general, harbored a dark ambition. Believing the Eredors had grown soft, he plotted in the shadows, sowing seeds of dissent among the noble houses. He promised them more power, more land, and whispered lies about the king's weakness. The betrayal was swift and brutal. On the eve of the Midsummer Festival, Malicor's forces stormed the capital. The palace, once a symbol of peace, became a battlefield. King Theron III fell defending his family, and for a dark moment, it seemed the Eagle of Eredor had been struck from the sky. The kingdom fractured, plunging back into the chaos of civil war. This period became known as the Sundering, a scar upon the history of Eldoria. But the spirit of Eredor was not so easily extinguished. Theron's young daughter, Princess Lyra, escaped the massacre, spirited away by loyal guards. For years, she lived in exile, learning the ways of the common folk and nurturing the fire of her heritage. She was no longer just a princess. She was a symbol of resistance. She rallied those who remained loyal to her family's vision: farmers, merchants, and disillusioned nobles who saw the ruin Malicor's tyranny had brought. Lyra proved to be a true heir of Valeras. She was a brilliant strategist and an inspiring leader. Her army, though small at first, grew with every victory. She fought not for vengeance, but for the restoration of peace and justice. The final confrontation came at the Battle of the Crimson Fields, where Lyra, leading the charge herself, faced Malicor's legions. The battle was long and bloody, but in the end, Lyra's courage and the loyalty of her followers won the day. The banner of the eagle once again flew over the capital. Queen Lyra, the Restorer, ascended the throne not as a conqueror, but as a unifier. Her reign marked the beginning of a second golden age, one built on the hard lessons of the past. She reformed the council, giving a voice to all regions of the kingdom to prevent such a betrayal from ever happening again. She rebuilt the cities, but also invested in the countryside, ensuring that prosperity was shared by all. Under her rule, Eldoria blossomed. Arts and sciences reached new heights, and explorers charting unknown seas did so under the Eredor flag. The dynasty was stronger than ever, forged anew in the crucible of betrayal and war. Centuries passed, and the world outside Eldoria began to change. The age of steam and industry dawned, bringing with it new ideas and new challenges. The absolute power of monarchs was being questioned across the continent. Some kingdoms crumbled, unable to adapt. But the House of Eredor, remembering the lessons of Lyra, chose a different path. They understood that to survive, they must evolve. King Alastair the Wise began the Great Transition. Instead of clinging to absolute power, he began the slow, careful process of sharing it. He established a parliament, giving the people a direct say in their own governance. It was a revolutionary act, met with skepticism by the old guard. But Alistair believed that the strength of the Eredor dynasty was not in its crown, but in its connection to the people. He saw that the future of the monarchy was to serve, not to rule. The transition was not without turbulence. There were protests, political struggles, and moments when it seemed the old ways might reassert themselves. But the foundation of trust, built over generations, held firm. The Eredors transformed from absolute rulers into constitutional monarchs, symbols of national unity and heritage. They became patrons of progress, champions of charity, and guardians of Eldoria's rich history. Today, the House of Eredor continues to reign, though their role has changed dramatically. They preside over ceremonies, represent Eldoria on the world stage, and remain a constant, steadying presence in a rapidly changing world. From a chieftain's dream to a modern monarchy, their journey is a testament to resilience, adaptation, and an unwavering commitment to the people they serve. The Eagle of Eredor still soars, not as a master of the sky, but as its watchful guardian, forever bound to the fate of the land and its people. The story of the House of Eredor is the story of Eldoria itself, a saga of unity, survival, and enduring hope. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of the House of Eredor. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tales from the annals of history and fiction. We'll see you next time.